is on the schedule. So today they're on the schedule, and here we are.
How about any unfinished business from how the season ended last year against this ball club?
There's unfinished business against everybody.
All right.
Yeah.
As far as how important is the next 10 games, 7 out of the next 10 against this team, and obviously it can determine the division title, playoff potential, whatever it may be.
Yeah, I think I'm going to bore you with my answers consistently because I view things in a very day-by-day, team-by-team. There's a 162-game schedule. They're all equally important. At the end of it, I won't devalue the fact that a head-to-head competition isn't important, but head-to-head competition is important against whoever we play. So, yeah, I mean, we just got through playing a stretch of games that were important. Today's important. Tomorrow's going to be important. A month from now, you're going to ask a similar question, and I get it completely. And but I'm not going to make it bigger than it is. And we're going to show up and play baseball today, and couldn't be more excited. I can tell you that.
How nice is it to have Nick the vet on the mound? He's been throwing the ball so well for you guys.
Yeah, Nick's been great. He's been fantastic. He's throwing the ball well, and that's a good guy to start the series.
What's the latest on what Yu's going to do today? It looks like he's ready for a bullpen.
Yeah, Yu's going to get a bullpen with some ups and downs. So around 15 pitches up, and then take a little break, and then another 15 or so back up again and see where it goes. It's a good sign, right?
How about Michael? What has he been doing?
Michael's been learning a lot about what he's dealing with our medical staff. Is also on that learning curve of what it is, and still continue to gather a lot of information. Rest is the prescription right now. He has played some catch, but nothing too aggressive and consistent. So we're just in a holding pattern to see what it is and the best way to treat it, if there is a better way to treat it outside of just the rest.
Mike, what do you make of just the stretch that you guys have been in? It seems like every game's a close game. Injuries, maybe guys kind of a little bit down, and the fact that despite all that, you've been able to more often than not find a way.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that. I mean, I'm really, really pleased, throughout quite honestly, the whole season. I mean, and that's just, we talk about winners finding solutions, and, no one's going to feel sorry for you in this league necessarily, and we're not going to make excuses for anything. But the fact of the matter is we've had, talking to Michael and Darvish questions already that, rightfully get asked a lot, and they haven't been able to participate recently, and, in Yu's case, not yet at all. And so, we've had Croney and Jackson miss over a month, and J.A.'s been out, and guys have been dinged up. Louis was out for a while, and guys are playing banged up right now, which is at that time of the season where guys are doing that, but they're doing it well, and they're posting, and end of the day we're playing it together and doing as good as we can fundamentally to shake hands every day, and that's the goal.
And I know, not wanting to make too much of this particular series, is there anything you can do? Can you use what happened in October, motivation, anything like that, or is it completely flushed?
I mean, listen, there's Scan's question. I mean, look, do we need more motivation? No, we don't need more motivation. If you want to talk specifically about the team we're playing, we beat them head-to-head during the season last year. We lost in the 5th game in the playoffs. It was as close as you can make it. So, more motivation, better, more or less. We're going to go and do what you did last year. We're going to go up and play them head-to-head, and we couldn't be more excited to do it.
Like, you might say that it's just a series, but I know your fans don't feel that way. What are you expecting? Just starting?
Yeah, no, I understand. Listen, I can only speak from my perspective, and I think that's a healthy win over the course of doing this for a while, over the course of just playing baseball and not making things bigger than they are. We talk about that with players, and I think it's applicable regardless of who we play. We're going to respect and compete against our opponent. So that has worked well and will work well. Relative to the excitement, right? I get it completely. The stadium's going to be rocking. It's going to be fantastic. I appreciate the heightened awareness to what likely is the best rivalry in baseball. And as far as what to look for, you're going to look to see good, hard-nosed baseball and us getting after it as hard as we can at every turn.
If you could, one more thing on Michael King, you said that they're still gathering information on the injury or the recovery?
On the injury itself specifically. It's not something that is historic to our game. It's not something that players have had. I'm not a medical doctor, clearly, or have any real medical training. So if anybody's CPR, you're in trouble. I can't speak the specificity of it. All I know is it's not something historically anything we've dealt with in this game, so we're sure get an education around it.
How big has Manny been for your team the last few weeks?
Manny's been tremendous for our team all the time. Manny's just, he's a cornerstone of what this organization is doing well consistently over the last several years, and he's a big part of it, and I'm really proud of him and excited for what he's done for us. He's been great.
within Muncie had this great comment during the postseason that the Padres try to get under their skin on purpose, like doing things like backflipping after a single. Have you noticed that about your team?
I've not heard that comment. I've not noticed it about the team. You know, as far as getting under people's skin, you know, that streak can go both ways. But I choose not to let that happen. Again, we look to compete, and you know, it's interesting if people want to look for things that may or may not be there to motivate them, but I can't speak to that.